She froze the moment she heard the word. Daddy. The little girl had not called her father that name. She was pointing at a tired-looking single dad standing across the room, holding a paper cup of coffee and watching his daughter play. The billionaire mother stared in disbelief. She knew exactly who that man was, and she knew there was something about him that could change everything. Before we begin, if you believe one small act of kindness can change a life, please subscribe to Spread Kindness 0.2, like this video, and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. Your support helps us share more stories that remind us that kindness still matters. It was a cold Saturday morning in a small town outside Dallas, Texas. The local community center was crowded with families attending a charity event for children. Among the guests was Emily Carter, a successful businesswoman whose company was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Emily had everything money could buy. A beautiful home, expensive cars, private travel, and a wardrobe most people could only dream about. But there was one thing money could never buy her. Time. Her 8-year-old daughter, Lily, often complained that her mother was always working. That morning, Emily had promised Lily that she would spend the entire day with her. No phone, Lily said seriously. Emily smiled. No phone. No business calls? None. Lily smiled and grabbed her mother's hand. Across the room stood a man named Daniel Hayes. Daniel was 38, quiet, and dressed in an old gray jacket. He had a 6-year-old daughter named Sophie. Unlike Emily, Daniel did not have expensive clothes or a luxury car. He worked 2 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads. Most people at the event barely noticed him. But Daniel noticed everything. When a child dropped a cup, Daniel saw it. When an elderly woman struggled to carry a box, Daniel helped her. When a volunteer slipped near the entrance, Daniel was there before anyone else could react. Emily noticed him. There was something unusual about the way he moved. He wasn't nervous. He wasn't careless. He seemed calm, but his eyes constantly scanned the room. Emily assumed he was simply an observant father. She had no idea that years earlier, Daniel had been a Navy SEAL. After leaving the military, Daniel had tried to build a normal life. But after losing his wife to illness, he became a single father. His daughter Sophie became his entire world. That morning, Lily and Sophie quickly became friends. They played together, shared snacks, and laughed near the children's activity area. Emily watched them with a smile. Then something unexpected happened. Sophie tripped while running. Daniel immediately moved toward her. Before he could reach her, Lily ran over and helped Sophie stand. "Are you okay?" Lily asked. Sophie nodded. Then Lily hugged her. Emily smiled. It was such a simple moment. But then Lily looked at Daniel. She walked toward him, took his hand, and said softly, "Daddy?" The room seemed to disappear for Emily. She froze. Daniel looked shocked too. Lily quickly realized her mistake. "Oh. I'm sorry," she said. "I thought you were Sophie's daddy." Daniel smiled gently. "I am." Lily looked embarrassed. Emily walked over and apologized. "I'm so sorry." Daniel shook his head. "Please don't be. She's just a kid." Emily looked at him more carefully. "You seem very patient." Daniel looked at his daughter. "She taught me that." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then a loud crash came from the back of the building. A metal shelf had fallen. People screamed. Children started crying. And Daniel changed instantly. The gentle father disappeared. His military instincts returned. He moved quickly, placing himself between the children and the source of the noise. "Everyone stay calm," he said firmly. He checked the exits. He looked for danger. He noticed that a damaged electrical cable had fallen near the shelf. Daniel immediately warned everyone to move away. A volunteer rushed toward the cable. "Don't touch it!" Daniel shouted. The building manager shut off the power. Within minutes, the danger was gone. Everyone was safe. Emily stared at Daniel. "How did you know what to do?" Daniel looked uncomfortable. "Old habits." Later, Emily learned the truth. Daniel had served his country as a Navy SEAL before returning home to raise his daughter. But what impressed Emily most wasn't his military background. It was what happened afterward. During the event, Emily noticed Daniel quietly giving his only sandwich to another child who had forgotten lunch. "You can have it," Daniel told the boy. "But aren't you hungry?" Daniel smiled. "I'll eat later." Emily knew the event had free food. She knew Daniel could have taken another meal. But he didn't make a big deal about it. He simply helped. That small act stayed in Emily's mind. Before leaving, Emily approached Daniel. "I want to help," she said. Daniel looked confused. "With what?" "With you and Sophie." He immediately shook his head. "I don't need charity." Emily smiled. "I didn't offer charity." She pointed toward the community center. "I want to help this place. They need more resources. Maybe we can work together." Daniel looked at her for a long moment. Then he smiled. "That's different." Over the next few months, Emily donated money to the community center. But Daniel donated something money couldn't buy: his time. He began helping children with confidence, discipline, and teamwork. Emily started visiting too. For the first time in years, she wasn't thinking about business. She was simply being present. Lily and Sophie became best friends. And Emily slowly realized something important. Kindness wasn't about how much money you had. It wasn't about your job, your house, or your social status. It was about what you did when nobody was watching. Daniel had shown kindness when he was struggling. Emily had learned to show kindness when she had everything. One afternoon, Lily asked her mother a question. "Mom, are we rich?" Emily smiled. "Yes." Lily thought for a moment. "Then we should help people who don't have as much." Emily's eyes filled with tears. She hugged her daughter. "You're right." And from that day forward, Emily made a promise. She would never allow her success to make her forget the people around her. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can give someone isn't money. It's your time. It's your attention. It's a helping hand. It's a kind word when someone feels invisible. Daniel didn't know it that morning, but his simple acts of kindness had changed Emily's life. And Emily didn't know it either, but her decision to help the community would eventually change hundreds of children's lives. That is the strange beauty of kindness. You may think you're doing something small. But someone else may remember it for the rest of their life. So if you're watching this today, remember Daniel's sandwich. Remember Lily's hug. Remember that kindness doesn't require wealth. You don't need millions of dollars to make a difference. You can hold a door open. You can check on a neighbor. You can listen to someone who feels alone. You can give encouragement instead of judgment. You can simply choose to be kind. Because somewhere out there, someone may be having the hardest day of their life. And your small act could be the reason they keep going. So today, before you walk away from this video, find one person you can help. Do something kind without expecting anything in return. Because kindness is never wasted. Sometimes, one small act can change a person. And sometimes, it can change an entire life. Spread kindness wherever you go. You never know how far it will travel.